Okay guys, I'm going to try and make this quick. It is I, Halloween Dan, and once again we are talking about the new LOWES props that are being leaked bit by bit. We're already seeing some better pictures, and now we've got some pretty grainy footage to go along with the pictures too of some of these props. And I have to say, already I'm starting to eat some of my words, and yeah, let's just do this. So the first thing I want to talk about is a prop that no one really has talked about unless they've been talking about these pictures, because no one knew about this prop. And it's basically what looks like it's going with this nautical theme again. It looks like a 6-foot prop, and it's a gross guy with octopus tentacles coming out of his mouth. He's got light up eyes. He's got wearing like a sort of a hood and a jacket. Kind of looks like really old, sort of almost like 17th century get up. He's got a hook that he's pointing outwards with what looks like could be like barnacles on it or something. It's a pretty gross looking prop, but really, really cool. Can't wait to see some footage of what this guy actually does, get the name. He's a really cool prop. Very, very interesting. Sticking with the nautical theme, I'm also talking now about some of the props we have seen. And there's a picture where we've got all three. We've got the captain, we've got the guy in the bell jar suit, and we've got the witch, which apparently is being linked into the nautical side of things too, but I don't know how and why. But either way, you've got all three sat here in this static picture. They all look really good in real life. I really do quite like the bell jar guy from this picture alone. Now that we can see that it's a skull inside a solid piece of the headgear, you can see the skull lit inside. I like the lighting on it in general. The costume looks really well put together, really great details on it. Again, I'm not sure what you do with this if you didn't have a nautical theme, but it's kind of cool. The captain guy, really good too. I like the glowing eyes. I like the way he's lit up blue at the front. I like the details on the steering wheel. It looks really good. Again, really interesting to see some movement. The witch is probably my least favorite, actually, of this whole get up. I like the creepy smile. The face is slightly more realistic, but the eyes don't look as though they're doing anything apart from lighting up, which is kind of disappointing. I was hoping this might have been Lowe's version of a Lethal Lily, but clearly not. No evidence as to what the action really is here, just the same witch holding a staff. Her second hand, left hand, is kind of clawed in a shape like, I don't know, like it's rising up or something. I'm not quite sure. It'll be interesting to see what the action is regardless, but again, it's not really that different. She's not really that good compared to some witch props that are now out there. On the front of the stand, there's this great big skeleton. It looks like he's probably about 10 foot, maybe 8 or 9 foot. I don't think he's an old prop. I know he's next to the LOWES Scarecrow from last year. I think it must be new. I could be wrong, but yeah, it's all right. It's kind of like a downgraded version of the 12-foot skelly. Then we've got this Gargoyle guy, which again, without any action, I can't really speak too much of, but having a look at it in a little bit more detail, I do not really like this fake plinth thing. Not really a fan. Don't really like it. The face on this, the face mold is okay, but it's not amazing. It would have been better if the mouth had some movement. The wings, they're okay, but you can tell they're just made out of fabric. I don't get the costume, and like my friend Scare Dad said, it definitely does look like this gargoyle squatting, taking a dump on this pillar. So, not really sure what the whole thought of that was there, to be quite honest with you. I don't know. I'm still reserving full judgment until we see some footage of this guy. Then in another picture, we've got the little Reaper guy that's like a kid-friendly little Reaper. He's quite cute. He's quite good. Right next to the pop-up zombie prop, the techie prop. I think this actually looks quite good. I like the way they drape the cobweb over it so it looks like it's really kind of coming out of an ancient tomb. Again, it's hard to judge how good this is going to be until you can see that movement. I hope it's a fast movement because you really want it to be a proper scare prop. The tombstones that are around it look really good too. Really good tombstones there, LOWES. Then we've got the Wednesday props, and to be honest with you, the Wednesday prop herself that you can see, the Jenna Ortega prop, actually looked better in the in the photos we saw. She doesn't actually look as much like Wednesday in this little picture. Yeah, the dress is kind of good and stuff, but the hair doesn't look quite right, and the face doesn't really look particularly good in this. The Cousin It prop, again, without really seeing what it does, it's hard to judge. It's just really badly lit. It kind of looks like he's fallen through a ditch. And the Cousin It, I always remember, always had very nice, smooth hair. Whereas this kind of looks like something a cat's coughed up or something. I don't know. The Pilgrim guy actually looks really cool. He looks like he's lit inside somehow. And the light up eyes. Apparently smoke comes out at the end of the musket or out of his mouth. I'm not quite sure. Again, I'm not sure. This doesn't... It's kind of cool, kind of creepy. But I think... it wouldn't really make sense unless you were into Wednesday. You can see as well there's some smaller props nearby, including a Thing prop. That's kind of cool. But again, kind of very specific to Wednesday. Then we've got the band, which of course there's been 3 new additions to this year, but I've not spoken about any of them. I really like the keyboard guy. I like the hair on the keyboard guy, kind of like a Mohican that's fallen over, mohawk that's like gone slanty. I also like in the background you can see the singer guy who's doing the rock pose, and he's got his foot kind of balanced on a tombstone, which you can't see in this picture, but he has. They are actually really cool, and I'd really like to see them all working together, see what they look like. Then we've got the little pumpkin pop-up prop. Again, it's nice to see it in the full size. It's actually a lot larger than I expected it to be. The pumpkin is actually quite an impressive size. Again, without seeing the movement, it's really hard to judge because it's all about how much of a pop scare it really is. But I really like it anyway. I like the look. It actually looks better in these photos. We've got the clown. Now, there is some footage of the clown, which I'll show in a minute. This clown, it's a clown. I like it, actually. It is a bit different version of a clown, and like I kind of said, it's obviously the legs kick, that's kind of the obvious movement, but also the head turns. So I'll show you the footage now that we've got. Yeah, it's kind of grainy footage. It's hard to really see and make a full judgment on, but yeah, you can see that the head's turning, you can see the legs kicking. Yeah, it's really kind of cool. Then we've got going again with the nautical theme, the big octopus prop, which I think is just a static. It's really, really cool. I like the way it's lit. Its tentacles look as though they light up too. Big light up eyes, big octopus head. Again, really good if you've got a nautical hoard or you're building a ship. Ironically, this year is the year I'm actually going to get rid of my pirate ship. I'll go into that in another video. So it's a shame because that would go really well with that. But yeah, it's good if you want like a Kraken type monster attacking your ship. This would be absolutely perfect. I really do like the way this thing looks. The Headless Zombie woman actually looks really good as far as I can tell in the pictures. Again, I would have preferred it if there was some mouth movement, which it appears that there isn't. But it does look pretty cool, I have to say. I like the way it's lit. I actually like the green eyes on this prop. I think that looks kind of cool, more spectral, like she's a ghost coming back from the dead with her head cut off. And I also like, I could be wrong, it's hard to tell, but in the picture the collar's kind of lit up red, so I'm assuming that's to kind of give the effect of like the head's been cut off, obviously, and a bit of blood. In the same picture, it's also stood next to this Haunted Mansion pillar. Now, I haven't talked about any of the Haunted Mansion props because I have never been to Disney. I love Haunted Mansion. I like the films. I also like the idea of the ride, and I know, you know, I know about the props and the things that are in the Haunted Mansion, but because I'm from the UK and I've never been to Disney, the Haunted Mansion doesn't have quite as special a place in my heart as I know as it does for some of you guys who have been to Disney, or that, you know, or where it was part of your childhood. Nevertheless, as a piece, I can appreciate this. The only negative I will say about it is that it does look as though it is just another fabric pillar. It's hard to tell from the picture, but you can see like a seam line running about halfway down it. And I think that that's a seam of fabric. I could be wrong. It's hard to judge, but I think it's another one of these pillars that's made to look like brick or stone, but it's just a piece of fabric. which kind of sucks, right? Sticking with the Haunted Mansion theme for a second longer as well, there is of course the Knight, which everyone seems quite excited about. Again, because I don't have this same relationship with the Haunted Mansion as some of you guys do, this doesn't mean quite as much to me, and I wouldn't buy it because it doesn't make sense to anything else in my haunt. But I kind of appreciate it. It's a Headless Knight guy. Apparently someone said they were disappointed that the eyes lit up green. I don't know, is that a thing it doesn't have? Maybe it doesn't have that, I'm not sure. It's an impressive piece. Nevertheless, I like the idea of it. And I think this actually does have mouth movement. You can see that the mouth looks as though it moves. So it'd be interesting to hear its phrasing and actually see what else it does apart from looking like a big cool Headless Knight. That's kind of interesting. But the last thing I really wanted to talk about is we've finally had some pictures of this 12-foot bone collector guy. And despite what I said in my last video about it's kind of pointless, don't know whether I fully understand it, fully get it, I have to say, unsurprisingly, this is so obvious this was going to happen, I actually quite like it. Like, I was talking only in my last video about how pointless it was as a prop. Did we really need big bone collector, like cemetery guy, 12 foot? Does that make any sense? But actually seeing it in a little bit more detail, I think it looks really cool. I love the face on it. The face is really creepy. And there is actually some really grainy footage that I'll put up now. And what is said about it is that it's got moving eyes. It's really hard to tell in this particular thing, but you can definitely see that the head is moving, the head turns. I don't see any other movement. I think maybe the arm moves too, but it's hard to tell from this really quick clip we've got. And it looks as though the eyes are moving. It also looks as though the eyes light up. I could be wrong, but it looks as though they do. So some people like that, some people don't. I like it depending on the prop. If it makes sense to the prop, then I like it. If it doesn't, then I don't. But apparently the eyes move. And if they do, that would be really cool. In my opinion, I think that would be really cool. I like the overall look other than that. In this particular bit of footage, he hasn't got, it doesn't look like he's got that big hat on. It looks like he's got more like a hood on, like the hood of a cloak. So if that actually, I think, is a better look, it's more of a Grim Reaper-y type look. I like this guy. I didn't think I was going to, and he still doesn't make a huge amount of sense, but I think I might like this guy. So again, I'm not making full judgment either positively or negatively until we get some proper clear footage. But from these little snippets that we've got, I think it looks pretty good. And actually, I think the majority looks pretty good. The only ones that I think maybe are letting down the side a little bit, ironically, is the witch. Not that fussed on the look of the witch, but I will reserve full judgment until we see what she does. The gargoyle, again, maybe not the best gargoyle in the world, but I'm going to reserve full judgment. And then, of course, you've got the Wednesday props, which it's less about them not looking good. They do look quite good. It's just I don't know how you would use them. Like, for me, they wouldn't make any sense. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Anyway, guys, I thought I'd just really quickly throw this video together, hence why I'm in my work clothes. It's always the giveaway. Because it's getting more and more exciting. I can't believe we're only in February and I've done one video after another talking about Lowe's. Soon it'll be God knows what else. You know, next minute we'll be talking about Spirit. We'll be talking about the Home Depot. I'm getting more and more excited by the day. Let's do this, guys. Let's do this. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this really hastily put together video today, and I will see you in the next one. Keep it spooky. Bye.